Pull-ups are a fundamental exercise to develop upper body strength. Great way to start out is with the feet on the floor using the rings. The rings are great because you can gradually adjust them as you get stronger. So starting out with the rings at a height where you can get your shoulder blades down and back, retracted, with a nice long neck with the toes still on the ground. Then coming down, getting a full stretch. The rings are great because you can allow for that natural rotation. So here I've got the pronated grip, and then as I come up, I supinate into that underhand grip. Some people feel stronger just keeping it more parallel, but they'll find at the bottom that they'll go into that overhand grip, which is a lot easier as the lats stretch out. So using this as a base version is great. To progress on that, you can lift the feet off at the top and then come down, come up, get an isometric, then come down. To progress that, you do the eccentric. So you're coming up and trying to keep the feet off, lower to the bottom. Spot yourself up, lower to the bottom. Now usually if you can get 3 reps for a 7-second eccentric, you can do a full pull-up. Now to progress that, you raise the rings up higher. Usually I like using that height for when I'm just keeping the toes on the ground except for a little lift off at the top. Then I'll go to a height where you have to jump to get to the top and then control the descent. The eccentric component is what's going to develop strength, and you're always 1.5 times stronger lowering a weight than you are lifting it. So you want to use that to your advantage to gradually get stronger. Just popping this up high enough that I can do a little jump and then control the descent. So I'd have the height here, come down into a nice dead hang stretch, jump up, retract, control, 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 all the way into that dead hang. And then go again. So you might do a slow eccentric, building that up for 7 seconds. Your next version will be to do a 5-second hold at the top, 5-second hold halfway. So I come up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dead hang. Then go again. So you do 3 of those. You're pretty much guaranteed to get your full first pull-up. If you still can't do it, or if it's just not happening, another thing you can do is add bands. A lot of people don't like bands because they think it's too easy when the band's really stretched out, and it's not helping enough when the band retracts. Now, simple way to get around that is just keep the band at the same length. So if I'm using it for the pull-up here, I pop it up, have it at a height where it can touch the ground, come down. At the very bottom, I just take my feet off. So now the band's going to stay at that length. When I pull up, I push into the band, so the band has the same level of assistance throughout. I can test that by just using a dumbbell. If I pop a dumbbell down here, this is 12.5. If that is coming off, if it just comes off, I know I'm getting around 12.5 kilos worth of help. If it was staying on the ground, then I would know that it wasn't quite that much help. So that's lifting the 12.5 off when I put that on there. So that's about how much of my body weight it takes off if I don't let it touch the ground. I'm using a cut band here when I'm using the rings. Now obviously you can make it easier or harder by holding it in a shortened position. That one is because you've got the 2 separate rings, you can't obviously loop that through and it gets a bit kind of awkward. So it is good to have a cut band for doing it that way. But the rings are a great tool to get started on your pull-up journey before you progress to full pull-ups.